So I came across this article. It's a good thing most women don't want to date Trump. Okay, so I posted that video and I had a lot of ladies weighing in. Well, this woman, she gave me a story time because I asked her for details because she actually married a Trump supporter. She says, I married my husband in 2013, back when Obama was president, and I didn't have a care in the world. Haha. I was never very politically conscious, but I was registered to vote as Democrat and had voted in presidential elections both ways in the past. He and I never really had any political conversations. I knew he was a pew pew enthusiast and a Second Amendment supporter, but he also believes in common sense pew pew control, which aligns with my beliefs. There were never any big red flags while we were dating that we had any major ideological differences. He was registered independent, but was even less motivated to vote than I was in the early years of our relationship. When the campaign season started for the 2016 election, I decided it was time to start paying attention to politics. At the time, I was hearing a lot about the atrocities in Syria and seeing people on my Facebook feed saying extremely racist and xenophobic things about refugees. I decided to watch the debates and to make a decision with an open mind. It didn't take long for me to come to despise Donald Trump with a passion. Couldn't believe the things I was hearing him say, and even more so, I couldn't believe the people around me were acting like this was normal. At this point, my husband was paying no attention to any of it. By the time the election came around, nearly my entire family and group of friends were fully on board to vote for Trump, including my Democrat mom who loved Obama. They couldn't stand Hillary. At some point along the line, my husband decided to vote for Trump too. I think there was so much noise around him and about how awful Hillary was and his propensity to vote for his single issue, pew pews. He jumped on the bandwagon too. He said he was somewhat concerned about Trump's immaturity and lack of political experience, but it wasn't enough to get him to vote Dem. Trump years were so much worse than I even could have imagined. It quickly became a topic that my husband and I couldn't discuss without fighting. I understand that I was suddenly paying attention to things I had never before and was forming strong opinions that we'd never had to fight about before. But all I got from him was complete invalidation, even when it became clear what a danger the Trump administration was to women's rights. And I started going to protests and rallies and posting about these issues on social media. He couldn't see my feelings as valid at all. He's told me multiple times that he'd never vote Democrat, even if it meant saving a 10-year-old rape victim from forced childbirth. He said only dogs are Democrats. He's called me an extremist for caring about women's rights so much that I go to a protest. He voted for Trump again in 2020. His daughter, my stepdaughter, had just turned 18 and voted for Biden. He gave her a tongue lashing, accusing her of voting without knowing enough about politics and accused me of influencing her. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, he offered no comfort whatsoever. At this point, he's resigned to going back to not paying attention to politics and not talking to me about it either. This certainly wasn't our only issue, but it nearly ended our marriage multiple times. In an effort to keep things civil between us, we just don't discuss anything, which honestly is probably working for him, but it eats me up. I already have so few friends to talk about these things. It hurts that my husband isn't one of them. I don't know what he plans to do in 2024. He might just skip voting. If he votes Trump again, I don't know what I'll do. I certainly do wish I knew what I know now back in 2013. I'm sorry this was long, but it's nice to let it out. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. So Kaylee says, I feel like your political views show your moral character. Why would I want to date someone who I believe is fundamentally a bad person? So it's no Republicans, no moderates, no centrists for my own well being. I'm not arguing about politics for the rest of my life in my own home. This woman says, my ex husband voted for Trump. Melinda says, it's my hard no. It's the first question I ask. And a lot of women were saying same, same, same. Lindsay says, I won't even date someone who calls himself a moderate, let alone a Trump voter. This person says, yeah, no, I want a leftist. I will not humor a moderate or not political, obviously not conservative. Then Lindsay says, I think moderate is just another way to say conservative without saying it. Not political is just saying they don't care about other people. Okay, so this person says this divide isn't just about political preferences. These MAGA men have completely different, unacceptable moral grounding. Hard pass. And this one says, and they pour the poison into their own heads daily with podcasts and close griping networks with other men. And then Eva says, politics always have and always will show morals. That's what it's always been about. And then Sir Twitch a lot with this monkey profile picture says their values: no body autonomy for women, no empathy, homophobia, misogyny, weaponized incompetence. And then Yanni Mama Bear says, what did they expect? The fact that they're now proposing ending no fault divorce proves they want slaves, not partners. So we have all these comments, and what I'm seeing is different demographics. This is across across the board, different races of women. You could see from the profile pictures that these are, it's not just Black women, it's not just white women, it's just women across the board are saying these things. And then you have women that are opting out altogether. They're like, I would rather be single, I would rather not have kids. I am going to tag a content creator below who has just gone through and was posting a bunch of different articles and speaking to where the gender divide is going and how it could end up for women, and how we have got to actually watch these men and where they are going, because it could get a lot more serious. So if you are on my TikTok page, just click the link that I'm putting in the comment section. And if you're on my YouTube page, I will post her video following this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
A world where more and more men are single because women do not want to date them is a world that's very dangerous for women, which is why I worry about retaliation in reaction to the rise of single men. We actually have data from this year that shows young women are way less interested in dating than young men are. And we have data to show that more women than men are single because they simply cannot find someone they are interested in dating. 38% of single American women say the main reason they're not dating is they can't find someone that meets their expectations, compared to only 23% of men say the same thing. College-educated women are the group most likely to say they are single because they can't find someone that meets their expectation, 45%. And I can hear the men in my comments now saying, see, it's women's fault. They have too high of expectation and that's why everyone is single and lonely. But let me remind you that women have always entered into marriages with the expectation that it is going to materially improve their lives. We needed husbands for financial security. We needed them for bank accounts, for credit cards, to have a house to live in. And now women are doing better than men. We are more educated. We are stable on our own. And women who are independent and self-sustaining do not need to get married. When you don't financially need a husband or a partner, you can say, I'm not going to get a partner until I find one that's emotionally supportive, emotionally intelligent, doesn't need me to be his therapist and his mom, doesn't need me to do all the childcare, all the housework. And men will tell you, they do in my comments every single day, that these expectations are just simply too much. I fear for escalating retaliation that this will cause interpersonally between men and women, and also in legislative and policy decisions, like the push to get rid of no-fault divorce, in the rolling back of reproductive rights, and with things like student debt and college affordability. They're not going to make college more affordable when more women going to college results in higher expectations of the men that want to date us. So yeah, that's why I worry about retaliation of men who cannot make it worth it for women to want to date and marry them.